back, everyone. Good evening. It is Wednesday, the 14th of January, and it is your second live stream of the day. For those of you that might have missed it, I was live from Benidorm Beach this morning, creeping into the afternoon, and we got into a really, really good conversation, but time was running out. I had other things to do. And since that live, one or two things have cropped up, which I'm going to discuss tonight. But before we go any further this evening, I've got to warn everyone that this is going to be a slightly different Paul Thorpe tonight. A Paul that you may not have seen before, a Paul that has always been there. But as you all know, I always try and bring people together, and I try and act in a cool, calm and collective, responsible fashion. I also try and keep the language decent and you know, family friendly. But tonight I've got to tell you that that's all going to go out the window, because what I've got to say tonight is going to win me a few friends and probably make me a few more enemies than I've already got. But you know what? I really haven't got any more fucks to give, if I'm perfectly honest. We're at a stage now in our country where we're at a tipping point, we're at a boiling point, we're at a time where, or we're at a period of our lives, of our nation's history. We live in historical times, I believe. In 100 years, people look back at this decade and say that was the time the UK was saved, or that was the decade where the UK was lost. And it's really down to you guys out there, it's down to the people of our country, which one of those two things people will be talking about in 100 years. And I hope it's the one that we're talking about, how we won our country back, but we will see. Now, earlier on, we got into the topic, we got into the subject of unity. And over the last couple of weeks or so, I've been a little bit quiet. I've been away from the computer. I haven't caught up with everything and anything that's been going on. And I got home tonight, and I want to start tonight's show with a video from Prime Minister's questions, PMQs today. I want to start with a 1 or 2 minute clip from that, and I want you guys out there to see. Do you see what I see? When you watch this clip, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Does this clip tell you anything? Let's have a little look.
Minister's New Year's resolution should be, and I quote, to try to get it right first. To try to get it right first time. To try to get it right first time. Yes, you did say that. You did say that. My question is, does he agree?
Right. And I'll tell her what this government is doing, whether on planning, child poverty, employment rights, investing in our NHS, we're taking the right choices for Britain. Get me started on 5 Prime Ministers, 6 Chancellors, 8 Home Secretaries, 16 Housing Ministers. They had more positions in 14 years than the Kama Sutra. No wonder they're knackered and they left the country screwed.
A lot of waffle, Mr. Speaker, but it's still a U-turn. He said, and I quote, "This stuff leaves us looking really stupid." I'm sorry to tell him, but Labour MPs have been looking stupid for a long time. But let's...
Or the Reform Party so desperate to launder any old failed Tory politician.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister doesn't need to worry about me. I'm all right.
And whilst we were there at IKEA, they showed me their new prototype, the IKEA Shadow Cabinet. The trouble is, nobody wants to buy it. It's mainly constructed of old dead wood. And every time you lose a nut, it defects to reform.
He says no one's going to listen to us. Who's going to listen to him? The winter field allowance, U-turn. Waspy women, U-turn. The two-child benefit cap, U-turn. Grooming gangs inquiry, U-turn. The family farms tax, U-turn. Digital ID, U-turn. Jury trials? U-turn. We hope so. We hope so. I think that's going to be the next one, Mr. Speaker.
Guys, right, sound, sorry about that, right? What the hell is going on with these people? What the actual fuck is going on with these people? Because why cancer patients are laying in hospital corridors, dying in corridors, whilst our children are being raped, whilst grooming gangs are running amok around the country and have been for the last 25 years, whilst knife crime is up, whilst murder is up, whilst you can't even get a police officer to come out and investigate your house being burgled, while old age pensioners are dying of the cold. These bastards are sitting in the big house laughing and joking like it's the fucking day out at the playground. What is actually going on with these people? Can you even believe these absolute morons? It's a pantomime. It's a shit show. It's a joke. And the joke is on us. Joke is on us, everyone. Even the Reform members there, sitting there going like this, like they're at a football match. Come on, come on. These people are not fit to lead us. They are not fit to govern us. They are not fit for purpose. None of them. Goddamn none of them. This is an insult to our nation. It's an insult to our people, what they are doing. This today, for me, epitomises everything that is wrong with our politicians, everything that is wrong. Rupert Lowe said the other day, I believe it was Rupert Lowe, was saying that he believes the time has now come where the House needs to be filled with people that aren't politicians. And I agree with that. These people are finished. They have ruined our country. They have ruined our future. They have ruined our children's future. And they've done it collectively. They've done it together because they're all goddamn in it together, that's why. Every single one of them. Nigel Farage as well. They're all in it together. Now, I'm only just getting started because I tell you now, I'm probably going to lose one or two friends tonight. But you know what? Like I said, I've run out of fucks to give, to be honest with you. Because as I said in the video earlier on, apologising for losing the sound a little bit earlier. As I said earlier on in the video this afternoon, or this morning, I got into doing what I'm doing because I thought that I was good at uniting people. I thought, you know what, Paul, let's see if you can try and unite the right. Let's see if you can bring people together. And for the first 6 months, I spent 6 months trying to bring Nigel Farage to the table with Tommy, with the United Kingdom movement. And at one stage, I thought it was working. Richard will back this up. I'm not a fool. Reform led me up the garden path. They dragged me all the way down to Plymouth on the back of a promise that they made to me, to my face, on a handshake, and the bastards went back on it. That was my first experience of real politics and real politicians. But never mind. We bounced back. We moved on. Forget Reform. They're a bunch of liars, a bunch of ne'er-do-wells, a bunch of ex-Tories, and a bunch of what else you want to call them. But we still try and unite. That is not the Reform supporters necessarily, but the leadership of Reform I'm talking about. They lied to us, the people, just the same as the rest of them lied to us, the people. Now, some time ago, we had a meeting in central London, Unite the Kingdom launch meet, if you like. I won't go through all the names that were there, but there are a lot of names that you guys will recognise. A lot of big YouTubers, a lot of influencers and people that you will know, including a super big name from the United States. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention his name. Did he mention him before? I just want to think about if the name was mentioned before, but it was a great meeting with some very important people at, and things were agreed, and it went marvellously for a while, and it's continued to do well. United Kingdom has continued to do very well, and I'm very pleased for that organisation as to where they're going with that. My next job was to try and get Ben and Tommy together. I hope I played a role in that. I said that earlier on. Ben and Tommy are now speaking. Tommy is now a member of Advance UK. Ben has set up Advance UK. But I believe, this is my own personal belief, and I don't speak on behalf of the party now, I speak on behalf of me. And if anyone doesn't like what I say, well, it's just tough, because as always, I'm going to try and give it to you from the heart, and I'm going to try and give you the truth. Excuse me not going into the comments at the moment. I've got them running on screen tonight, so at least you guys can see them as well as I can. Yes, we do need to get the youth on board. We do need to get the youth on board. But what we really need, and what we need more than anything, is for everyone to unite. And tonight I'm going to talk about some of the people who I feel have either let us down. Maybe that's the wrong expression. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to talk tonight about people who I feel could do more and perhaps should do more, but it's their prerogative. I'm not calling them out. I'm merely suggesting that they could do more. Now, if I'm wrong, because the country needs these people now more than ever, but if I'm wrong, that's fine. All I ask them is to give me a better alternative, to give us a better alternative. So, we have the vehicle now, as Richard Inman says, we have all the tools in the box. What we don't have is the people to take those tools out of the box and to use them in the right areas. The people are there, but they're not putting their hand in the box yet. We have a magnificent leader in Ben Habib. So I'm going to start with Rupert Lowe. Rupert, we all love you, Rupert. We all support you. But where are you, for God's sake? We need you here. We need you now. Your country needs you. Ben Habib needs you. Advance UK needs you. We need you to join Advance UK today. What we don't need, Rupert, is another bloody political party, another split. What's more important to you, Rupert, your ego or your country? If it's your country, join Ben. What a force you would be. What a force you would be. I said this earlier, but I'm going to go further now. Some of the influencers, Carl Benjamin, Connor Tomlinson. I like you guys. I like what you say. I watch your channels. I support 99% of what you say. But where is your support for Advance and for Ben? Or are you hanging around hoping to get some kind of position in a reform government? Because let me tell you now, boys, it ain't going to fucking happen. Farage will not have you. Come on, lads. We need you. Unite us. Help unite. Ant Middleton, love you a bit, Sam. Was proud to sit with you for an hour in Poland and have a real good conversation. But Ant, listen, mate, you've served your country once already and you've done a fantastic job. It's time to do it again, my friend. We don't need an independent mayor of London. We need an Advance UK mayor of London. Because reform are slowly but surely imploding. Surely that is there for everyone to see. Surely that is there for everyone to see. The Advance is imploding. Their latest recruitment, I believe today, let me just get me bits and pieces up. This is a tweet from Ben Habib earlier on. Now Reform UK is gaslighting its members. It's just taken on a Green Party councillor. A Green Party councillor, for fuck's sake. Reform does not offer reform. It offers a basket case of rubbish. 100% well said, Ben. 100% is spot on. It is not reform. It is recycle. And they are imploding. I believe that they are losing hundreds, if not thousands of members every day because of the people they are recruiting. Rarely will you ever hear me agree with Keir Starmer. But what he said tonight, what he said in the House today was true about Nigel Farage and about his party. It is just a recycle bin for failed Tories. We had 14 years of Tory failure. Do you want that again under another guise? And don't forget, by the way, if you think Nigel Farage is the man that will make the difference, is this the man that does more U-turns than a learner driver in a car? He's already ruined one potentially great political party. He had the chance with UKIP and he blew it. Andrew Gold, where are you, my friend? Andrew, I watch your channel. You know, you're a decent guy, don't agree with everything you say, but again, I consider you to be someone on side. Winston Marshall, where are you, boys? Douglas Murray is another one, great orator, a hugely educated, but where are you, Douglas? You've been telling us for years. You've been warning us for years, and rightly so. Where are you now, Douglas? You guys go quiet, or you carry on doing what you're doing with your YouTube channel. Many of them earning thousands of pounds a week, right? What matters most to you, your country or your wage packet? Mayor Toosey, love Mayor, does a great job. You know, Mayor's one of the best independents out there. Does a great job, but come on, Mayor, you was at that meeting at the United Kingdom movement. You support the United Kingdom movement. You support Tommy. Tommy supports Advance. Come on, Mayor, join us. Where are you? We need your support. The country needs you. I'm not calling these guys out. I'm appealing for unity. Because if we don't unify, we are fucked. We are finished. There is no second chances. There's no more chances. Dan Wootton, great guy. I believe that Dan is the best in our circle. Dan is the best at what he does. He interviews everyone. He takes on everyone. He listens to everyone's views. But I tell you what I do believe. I believe that Dan is slowly but surely coming to the right decision. For me, it's only a matter of time. I watch Dan very closely. And I can see what's going on in his mind because Dan's very switched on. I believe that Dan's on the verge. I hope he is. I hope he is. You know, look, all these people have got to unite because all we see at the moment is one split after another appearing, a crack here, a crack there. The ethno-nats, they come in and have a go. Look, you know what, guys? All those ethno-nats out there, my message to you is this. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm not going to sit here and battle with you. I don't want to fight with fellow patriots, even though we may not agree on everything, and I certainly don't agree with some of the harder right ethnic views, but I don't want to fight with you guys. What I do want to do is I want to unite everyone that cares about our country. Forget everything else. Forget it. It doesn't fucking matter. In 25 years' time, the little bit that you don't agree with that Ben says, or the little bit that you don't agree with what Rupert Lowe says, will not make one bit of difference. What will make a difference is if we unite and win the next general election. And I'm not talking about Reform UK. We are in serious trouble, but there's lots of people that have put their foot forward. You know, I have myself with Advance. I have Liam Tufts has, Richard has, obviously, Jeff Taylor has, Howard Cox has. There's plenty of people, Sarah has. There's lots of people out there with YouTube channels and with bigger profiles have put their best foot forward for Advance. Now, some of you will be sitting out there, and again, I'm sorry that I'm not going through your comments at the moment, guys, but I've got to get this off my chest and then we'll get into the comments later on, right? Because I'm absolutely done with all this shit. The disunity, the splits, even the auditors are having goes at each other. There's pops here, there's pops there. You know, people are having to go at me, people are having to go at someone else. You know, I've had my issues with some of the boys, all supposedly on the same side. What it's all about, I don't know. All I'm interested in doing is unifying. And if we can't unify, I'm off. I'm finished. I'm done. What's the fucking point? What is the point in trying to unify and herd a load of cats that ain't interested in coming together? Because some of them have a vested interest in their own pockets rather than their own country. And that's what pisses me off. I've had enough of it. Now, I'm not accusing anyone of that. I'm not accusing anyone of that. But what I do believe is, I do believe there are commentators out there right now who are hoping for that Reform UK is somewhere down the line going to find a space for them politically. Well, let me tell you now, boys and girls, it ain't happening. And if you think it is, you're naive. There's only one chance for us, one chance left. That is Ben and Advance. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Give me a better alternative or shut the fuck up. That's how I feel right now. If you can't give me a better alternative than Advance and Ben, just leave it with me, because at the end of the day, there is no better alternative. It is definitely not reform. We know that. We all know. We're not stupid. I'm not stupid. We all know that right now, as we sit on the 14th of January 2026, we all know that if there was a general election tomorrow, we all know who stands the best chance of winning that election. But the chances of that happening, of there being an election tomorrow or next week or next month or even next year, are very slim to none with the majority that Starmer's got. And the second thing is right, is that these people that are in charge at Reform are not gonna deliver. They're not gonna deliver. And I don't even believe that Nigel will last the course. And then what we're going to be left with, Zia Youssef will be the leader, Richard Tice will be his second in command, and maybe, I don't know, what's his front bench going to look like? A mixture of former Labour MPs, former failed Tory MPs, former Green Party members, etc. The uni party that's all mixed into one. And it's called Reform when it should be called Recycle. Chaz, the Lotus Eaters, etc. Carl, have both had Ben and Rupert on recently. Yeah, look, I know they've had them on, but listen, having people on is one thing. Supporting them, openly coming out and supporting them and joining the party is something completely different. Now, the people that I've mentioned tonight, I reiterate, because I know what will happen. Some of you guys will get in their comments tomorrow and say, oh, Paul was slagging you off. Wrong. I'm not slagging them off. What I'm saying is, they all have big positions in this space. They know that, I know that, you know that, we all know that. What I'm asking them is, I'm asking them to come out, to put their best foot forward, to put their country before everything and to join Advance UK. If they don't want to do that, I respect that. But please give me a better alternative. I can't force anyone to join a political party. That's not my right. That's not what I do. I can't force people to join a political party. I don't want to force anyone to join a political party. I want them to join because they believe in it and because they want to. My question to all the names I've mentioned is, if they're not joining, why? What is the better alternative? Tell me, because it may be that I'll come with you. But I can't see one. So is it about what's best for the country, or is it about what's best for the channels or best for their future careers? You tell me, because I haven't got the goddamn answer. You know, again, I say Douglas Murray, you know, one of the finest orators the country has produced. Where is he? Where are you, Douglas? You've gone, you've disappeared. And, you know, as I said, the Andrew Golds and the Winston Marshalls, you know, I mean, Katie as well. I mean, look, listen, nobody loves Katie more than I do. Katie is a national treasure. Come on, Katie, get yourself over to Advance. I know that, you know, Katie's not a career politician. Katie's a commentator, a comedian. She's an entertainer. She's a fabulous woman. I love Katie to bits. Absolutely adore Katie. But she's on board. She's on side. She's one of us. She too was at that meeting that we had in London. Katie, I wish that you would join Advance UK and publicly speak out for Advance UK, because Advance UK is our last chance. And every day that ticks by, every single day is a day that is running out. Every single day. Because we've got 2.5, maybe 3 years till the next general election, whenever it is. And we need to march now at the double, and we can only do that. I mean, I said earlier on in the live, can you imagine? How would you guys feel? How would every single one of you feel tomorrow? Whether you agree with me or whether you don't, I just want you to just go along with me for a minute, please, right? Just go along with me for a minute. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning to find that Ant Middleton, that Rupert Lowe and Douglas Murray had all joined Advance UK and got behind Ben Habib. How would you feel? Would you feel more negative about our situation? Would you feel more positive about our situation? Would you feel more negative or more positive about winning our country back and delivering the things that we all know that need to be delivered? And I said all this morning, or a lot of this morning, and when I got home, this was in my inbox. I hadn't seen it. I genuinely hadn't seen it. I promise you, I swear to God. Apparently, it's a couple of days old, but I hadn't seen this until I got back from the live stream this afternoon. And this gentleman is saying exactly the same, but in a slightly better way.
This is by way of a bit of an appeal, not for money, not for charity.
This is Jeff Banks, the fashion designer. You know, Jeff Banks, everyone knows Jeff Banks. He's super, super famous. I didn't know what his politics were, but listen to this.
But for the good of our great country. We're at a bit of a crossroads at the moment. It's literally sink or swim time. And there are 4 men in this country that could irrevocably change the course of history for us that's going to benefit everybody. Nigel Farage, a bit bumptious at time, full of himself, but undoubtedly the qualities that you need in a great leader. Rupert Lowe, successful businessman, successful farmer, very direct in his approach, great orator, speaks his mind. A little bit of my way or no way. Ben Habib, fantastic intellectual, well educated at Rugby, Robinson College, Cambridge, great speaker, formed his own party last year, and he's now got 30 to 40,000 members already. So undoubtedly somebody that knows what he's doing. And then finally, Tommy Robinson. Tommy, a bit like Marmite, you either love him or hate him. Self-educated, extremely well-read, a dynamic journalist that actually brought grooming gangs to the forefront 10 years ago. An amazing character and very often grossly underrated. And then with my appeal to these 4 men is really to stop messing around, bury the hatchet, smoke the pipe of peace or maybe a cigar, stop throwing bricks and lawsuits at one another, come together for the greater good, put the egos back in the toy box and join up together to make Britain great again. So what we do? Me, I'm actually going to drop them a line and pleading with them to actually get round a table, maybe go down the pub, settle all their differences and actually work together to make Britain great again. What can you do? You can drop them a line as well. The details are below.
So that's Jeff Banks, a man that is far better educated than me, a man with a lot more money than me, a man with a lot more influence than I. Saying exactly pretty much what I've been saying. The only thing where I think that Jeff has got it wrong, bless his heart, is with Nigel Farage. I think it's too late for Nigel, although look, I wouldn't rule anything out, but I don't see that Nigel Farage is the type of guy to eat any humble pie. It's just not in him. It's just not in his makeup. So I go back to the question earlier on. What means more to the individuals concerned? Their own egos, their own pride, or their country? And this is where you sort out the men from the boys. Now, as far as the other 3 are concerned, look, there's no problem between Tommy and Ben and Rupert and Tommy. There's no problems there. It's only Farage. So, look, you know, the door could still be open for Nigel Farage, potentially, if he was man enough, if he was big enough, if he was brave enough and bold enough, and if he loved his country enough, and if he truly cared enough to embrace us lot, the working class, the mass majority, the masses that are now slowly but surely deserting him. if he can get it in his head that he is not the Messiah and he is a very naughty boy, then at the end of the day, there could still be a door open for Nigel Farage and for many people within Reform who I'm sure, I know from first-hand experience, there are many people in Reform that have the right things in their heart, the right things on their mind. They're just in the wrong political party, for me. But I would add names. I would certainly add names to that list that Jeff Banks spoke about. And I thank him most sincerely for that impassioned speech because he's absolutely spot on. But what he doesn't seem to understand is it's not Tommy, it's not Rupert, it's not Ben, it's Nigel that's the problem. Second only, I would say, there's a minor issue with Rupert. I don't know why Rupert hasn't joined Advance. For me, that is super disappointing. And you guys need to let him know that you're disappointed. Everyone needs to let these guys know that there is only one way out, and that is our way. Together, united, we win. Divided, we're going to lose. That it is as simple as that. There is no more debates to be had. There are no more questions. It's as easy as ABC. The answer is that easy. We either unite or we fail. There is no in between for me. There is no Reform government to pull things back slowly or just, maybe put a little bit of a stop to the boats. No, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. All the boys over at UKIP, I know there are a lot of UKIP supporters in the chat, right? And there always is. And, God bless those guys, right? I have nothing against them, but UKIP's done. I'm sorry. It's never going to happen. It's a pipe dream. It's a fantasy. It's not going to happen. It's done. Unfortunately for you, unfortunately for the country, whatever. But all these other parties, all these minor offshoots, these parties, these FNAP groups and blah, 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 they're all wasting their time. They might be getting something out of it personally or a bit of, their egos being massaged here and there. But tell me how many seats they're going to win at the next general election. Yeah, I'll tell you how many the whole lot of them will win collectively, shall I? I'll tell you right now, and I'll bet anyone any money they like. It's a big fat fucking zero. And that's between the lot of them. All put together. So are these people, all of them, are they really the patriots that they make out to be, or is there other ulterior motives as to why they do what they do? I'm in this for one reason and for one reason only. I've always only ever been in this for one reason and one reason only, and that is to see our country won back by the people that truly love it. That's all I care about, and I don't care who the goddamn leader is. I don't care if it's Ben, I don't care if it's Rupert, I don't care. I'd even take Nigel Farage if he did what he said he'd do. I'd take Robert Jenrick, I'd take Suella Braverman. You know what? If she did the job properly, I'd take Kemi Badenoch if she did the job properly and if she meant what she said. I don't care what the person looks like or where they come from. I just want them to have a red, white and blue heart and do the right things for our people. I want to get them cancer patients out of the goddamn corridors and into hospital beds so they can either get cured or at least end their goddamn lives in bloody pain-free comfort. I want them to look after the safety of our children. I want them to look after our women. I want them to respect the rights of the British people. All of these things that we used to have as a nation, I want all that back, and we will only get all that back if we are united behind the right people. Right now, we're splintered all over the goddamn place. And Reform are basically one of the biggest dangers now, because they've got a lot of people fooled. They've got a lot of people fooled, far too many people fooled, who think they're the answer, and they bloody ain't. We know they're not. Marion is a new member. Thank you, Marion. The only CalMac reform is about to hit an advanced-sized iceberg. I sincerely hope so. Sheila, thank you very much for that, Paul. It's great to have you back. Thank you. Anglo-Saxon, I see Eva. I can never pronounce her surname, so I'll stick with Eva. I see Eva has been banned from the UK. Absolutely. That was on my list to talk about. Absolutely fucking disgraceful. They banned this wonderful woman. She's a mum. She's a peaceful woman, a peace-loving woman. Keir Starmer has banned her from the UK because she slagged him off on X the other day. She's not even got any plans to come to the UK at the moment, but she is now banned from the UK whilst Keir Starmer welcomed back a bloody Egyptian thug and an anti-Semitic, anti-white racist thug from bloody Egypt back into the country 2 weeks ago. Unbelievable. Can anyone say that we don't need uniting? Can anyone actually say that what I've said tonight is wrong? Let me know in the comments. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. Tell me. Glenn, Scotty says, Tuzi is obviously wrapped up in the Iran situation at the moment. His dad is in prison under house arrest. Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, I get all that. And I'm not having a dig at Maya. I'm not. But this Iranian thing's only been going on for a couple of weeks, right? Come on, boys. You know, all the influencers out there, please either I'm asking you, I'm not telling you, I'm not preaching to you. What I'm saying is, please get behind Ben and Advance UK, or give us a better alternative, or just tell us that you're not interested in what happens to the UK. You just do YouTube because it's your living. I get that. And I'd respect that, and I understand that. The vast majority of people do YouTube to earn a living. It's fine. That is fine. It's a job. YouTubing, for most people, including myself to some degree, it's a job. No different from going out and driving a bus or going to work and laying bricks or being an engineer. It's no different. That is how these people earn a living. Now, if that is the case, I'm cool with that. I've got no problem with that. But please tell us. Tell us. Or give us an alternative to Ben and Advance. And that goes for everyone. It goes for Carl. It goes for Connor. It goes for Rupert Lowe. It goes for Ant, for Andrew Gold, for Winston Marshall, for everyone who's on our side but won't, for whatever reason, get behind our best opportunity, our last chance. Fence sitting. For what? What are we sitting on the fence for? Are we sitting on the fence hoping for a position along the line with Nigel Farage? Because it ain't happening. Reform, who have just put up a Muslim candidate for the Mayor of London. So we potentially get rid of Sadiq Khan and we get another Muslim Mayor of London. Look, I happen to like Layla Cunningham. I think she's a very nice person. I think she's genuine. I've actually got no problem with Layla Cunningham, if I'm honest. I prefer Layla Cunningham over Sadiq Khan any day of the week. But we're getting past all this now. We need to revert. We need to revert back to what Britain was like in the 60s and the 70s, politically at least. We need more British people in Parliament with red, white and blue in their hearts. Well. Yep, Polanski's coming up on the outside, the tit whisperer. Carol says, I trust Rupert. Look, I like Rupert and I trust Rupert, etc., but I have to ask the question. I asked it earlier and I'll ask it again. I asked it earlier today, I've asked it earlier tonight, and I'll ask it again right now. Rupert, what are you doing? For fuck's sake, are you seriously thinking about starting another political party? Because if you do, it's done. We're all done. That's the last thing in the world that we need. Yeah, I mean, look, people like Danny, you know, Danny running around with Ryan, you know, trying to do their best. They're under threat. Look, everyone needs, guys, listen, as much as I love the events, all this stuff, as much as I respect the boys going out on the beaches in France, etc., they're just a couple of guys with a few good men behind them. It's not enough. We need to win politically. The only way we win this is politically. The only way that we rid our institutions, our schools, our colleges, our universities, our civil service, the only way that we rid this cancer and get clear of it and bring in a whole new bill of health is doing it the right way through the ballot box, doing it politically. That is the only way, unless there was a mass bloody civil war, which nobody wants and would end badly for absolutely everyone. And that ain't happening, by the way, either. Thank God, right? Because that would just be horrendous. You know, there's too many people out there that talk, and actually aren't really achieving anything. And I'm not saying that I've achieved anything in the past. I'm not saying I'm achieving anything now, but I'm trying my goddamn best to unite everyone. And my appeal, the whole point of this video tonight, because there is a point to it, is I want every single one of you. It doesn't matter if you agree with me. It doesn't matter if you like me. It doesn't matter if you follow my channel or if you can't stand me. It doesn't frigging matter. What matters is that deep down in our hearts, we all want very close to the same thing. We might not be completely on the same song sheet, but we're almost there. And wouldn't we just swap that for the fucking mess that we have in Westminster today? The pantomime that I played you earlier, the absolute piss take, the absolute bunch of jokers who have the barefaced balls to sit in that big house today and laugh like they haven't got a goddamn care in the world. Well, let me tell you, when the next general election comes around, when the next election comes around, whatever by-election comes around, we've got to make sure that every one of these people is sent on their sorry arse back out into the big wide world where they've got to earn a proper goddamn living. Yesterday, I released a video with every single Labour MP who voted against the child grooming gang inquiry, the child rape gang inquiry. Let's get it right. Every single fucking name of every single fucking Labour MP that voted against an inquiry, against justice for our young girls. I named them on a video yesterday. Remember their names the next time it comes around to vote and kick them out. Vote them out. I'm done with the whole bullshit. We need to push forward, and we need to push forward together. Every single name that I've mentioned tonight, let me make this clear. Every single person, every single name that I've mentioned tonight, I consider to be an ally, and they have my personal, for whatever that's worth, they have my personal support. But it's time to put your best foot forwards, lads. It's time to forget your YouTube channels, your viewing figures, your subscriber counts, your monthly incomes. It's time to put the country first. You know, and there are things happening all around the world that we must take notice of, but we live in the UK. I say we live in the UK. I live in Spain right now, but I want to be at home in the UK. We want the UK back together. We want the UK. The UK comes first, always. That is our home. That's the place that we love. That's the place that we're loyal to. That's the place that our forefathers gave their blood for. And it must come first before everything. Apart from your children, your country must come first. Apart from your children and your family, of course, you've got to put your country first. Family first, always, but a country is a close second. Carol, if these lot don't stand together, I'm leaving this country. I mean, look, this is the bottom line. Reform isn't going to save us. We can only be our own saviours. Defiance is key. No one rules if no one obeys. There's an element of truth to that. Ego plays a big part in all this. Yeah. Oh, it's over. It's too late. There's nothing worth saving. Everything's gone. Do you know what, mate? I'm going to disagree with you, Paul. I'm going to say that we can be saved. We can do it. We're British and the British don't lose. History tells you that. But this time, we bloody well might. We need a general. We need a leader. We need a Winston Churchill. And we have these people. We have them. We have the people that we need. This is a nation that has born and bred some of the greatest people that has ever walked the face of God's earth. And we have those people right now ready, waiting, but they're dotted around here, there, over there, back there. We need them together in one room. Jeff Banks was right. We need these boys, we need these men and these women, these strong women, our leaders. We need them together around a table, thrashing things out, mapping our future, mapping the future for our children. If they're not capable of doing it, what does that leave us with? Wake up, everyone. Wake up, Nigel Farage. Wake up, Rupert Lowe. Come on, Rupert. We need you. Your country needs you. Never mind about Restore, never mind about all this nonsense, right? At the end of the day, what is it going to achieve, Rupert? Yes, I know that you do good things. We appreciate that. And as I said, I'll reiterate again and again, I love Rupert. I'm a massive supporter of his, but it's going nowhere. It's going nowhere unless we join, unless we unite. The reasoning that a lot of people are making it is where Ben's born. It's madness because they say they don't want a Muslim Prime Minister. Ben is not a Muslim, Annie. It's because there is no money involved with Advance. Well, I'd hate to think that that was the case. Paul, I'm glad you are back. The mist has lifted. You are right. We all need to step in unison or we lose. 100%, Mordy, 100%. You know, look, this is all coming together, right? And you know me, guys. I always like to try and be honest with my audience, right? And I know there's people out there that can't stand me, but you know what? Like I said, I've run out of fucks to give anymore, right? The bottom line is we're either in this together or we're not in it at all. And if I'm not in it at all, if the audience tells me, if the views and the audience tells me that I'm done, that I'm not needed, I'm not wanted, I'm gone. It doesn't matter. I'm fine. I've got a life to live. I can pack all this up, shut my computer down and go and sit on the beach tomorrow. But I believe that we have a job to finish here. We started it, we've got to finish it. And it's going to take a lot of brave men and a lot of brave women to step up to the plate, settle their egos, settle their differences, learn to be able to shake hands and look each other in the eye and go, fuck this, let's win our country back together. Let's do this. Let's do it. Because we can go on like this for another 4 or 5 years. We get to the next general election and we'll have some kind of coalition between the Lib Dems and the Greens, or God, can you even imagine? And then think, if that happens, God forbid, think back to this night. Think back about everything that I said. Think back to what I said before the last general election, where I warned everyone exactly what Labour would deliver. And I turned out to be 100% right, apart from the fact that I wasn't actually, when I say I was 100% right, I was only 99% right. I got some of it wrong because they're even worse than I predicted. And that is saying something, because after that video I made before the last general election, I had people writing to me saying, come on, Paul, they're going to be bad. But they're not going to be that bad. No, they're fucking worse. And trust me now, as sure as night follows day, if we don't get behind Advance UK, if we don't take up this opportunity, our very last opportunity, we are finished. We are finished. So, for me, that's where I'm at. And this is why, this is the reason, one of the reasons, one of the contributing factors as to why I've been not missing, but very quiet since Christmas, because when my grandkids went back home after Christmas, I went on a low and I thought, right, let's get back to the fight. And I'm thinking, what fight? What fight? Because half of the people that are supposed to be on our side are all fighting amongst themselves. The left are laughing. They say, we call the left mad. We say the left are all loonies. It's us that's the loonies. We can't even agree on the most minor of things. They're better than us at unifying. Far better, much better. They will look past each other's differences and they will join. And that is why they're so strong. That is why you've got the LGBTQ plus zero, whatever they're called, the transsexuals, and I don't even know what they're called, right? And the Islamists. They're working with people that will chuck them out of a building. That's how far they're prepared to go, the left, to get what they want. That's how much they're prepared to unite for their socialist communist cause. No wonder we're fucked, honestly. Donna, Carl wants a white leader. It's obvious. Some people just look at Ben's father's heritage. It's upsetting. Ben is fantastic, a true gent and a patriot of this country. You know what, Donna? I don't know. I don't know if you're right. I've never asked Carl that. But if that's true, it's bullshit. PMAT, a split right-wing vote is a win for the unsavoury parties that shall not be named. Yeah, exactly. Of course it is. I'm not sure on this one. Why is someone mentioned there's no money in advance? Seriously, what on earth are you saying? I'm not sure if that's aimed at me or someone else. I tell you, there's no way that Starmer will have to be dragged out of number 10, kicking and screaming. I don't think we should unite with Reform. Katie and Dan are leaning on the side of advance. Absolutely, you know, Katie and Dan are my favourites as far as doing what they do, right? And I'm just praying that both of them, you know, because we need a domino effect now. You know, we've had some big names join Advance. I mean, Tommy's joined. Tommy's part of Advance now. He's a member, etc. And, you know, that has brought in a lot of support. But what we need now is we need people to be brave enough to join that domino effect, that snowball effect, because if they don't do it, the chance has gone. The situation is depressing. Yep, I tell you what, you want to sit this side of the mic and, you know, try and do some of that unifying stuff, because you feel like you're banging your head up a brick wall. You know, the splits that I've seen and the arguments that I've seen and the problems that have occurred amongst people allegedly all on the same side is just mind-bending. Shirley, you're a great candidate for Advance UK, Paul. Thank you, Shirley. I'm not sure that's right, but that will be up to Ben. Angelina, I think Douglas Murray is doing now, he's writing for The Spectator and appearing on Sky News Australia. Exactly, you know, exactly. What the fuck? You know, I tell you what, Douglas, unless you're prepared to join us, just keep it to yourself, mate. We already know the problems. We don't need any more books. We don't need to see you on Sky News Australia again telling us how fucked we are. We already know, mate. Come and help us. Paul, they're all waiting to see what Rupert does for sure. I just don't get this with Rupert. Look, Ben offered Rupert the leadership of Advance. What more does he want? What else does he want? Does he not like the name? Does he not like, I don't know, what's not to like? Why? It's the biggest mystery to me. The biggest mystery. Let me go through some more of the chat. Yeah, most people, you know, people saying that you feel more positive if you woke up tomorrow and you saw Ben, you saw Rupert, you saw Ant Middleton, etc., all joining together. Yeah, seeing Douglas join Advance will be amazing. Yeah, but maybe he's too busy appearing on Sky News Australia. I don't know. Why not? What I would say is I want to make something very clear, and this is really important, right? Everything that I say on here is my opinion, okay? I'm not saying that I'm right. I could very easily be wrong about things, and if someone can show me where I'm wrong, I'll say, thanks for that, I was wrong. But I go back to what I said earlier on. Anyone watching this tonight that thinks I'm wrong, show me a better alternative. If you can show me the better alternative, a genuine, tangible, better alternative than Ben and Advance UK, I might join you. If you can show me a better alternative, if you can show me that UKIP is a better alternative, go ahead, be my guest. Show me. Let's look at the membership numbers. Let's look at the projection over the next 12 months. If you think that joining whoever, whatever party you like to mention, and there's a number of them, aren't there? If you show me that as a more tangible, better alternative to Ben and Advance, maybe I'll join. Maybe I'll join with you. Red Army Man United, Paul, Patriot Movement is another YouTuber that says on a weekly basis that we all need to unite, and he always shares links to Advance and the pledge. Well done. Yeah, I mean, brilliant. You know, look, as I said, there are plenty of other YouTubers out there that are doing what I consider to be the right thing and putting their foot forward. But there are far too many big YouTubers out there, big influencers, who are just sitting on the goddamn fence. And I'm sorry, sitting on the fence is not going to win our country back. Unite now or the UK is history. Thank you very much for that. Quite away from the camera. Is that Dragon, is that? Thanks for that. Just my cup of Katie, thank you. Our grandchildren will suffer the same fate as the Iranians if we don't get a move on. Yep. Hartford, Paul, I think you're wrong about Mayer. I'd be the same if my dad was in Iran. Lay off in regards Linford. Linford, I'm not getting on his back, mate. And yes, I will be the same, absolutely. Let me be clear with Mayer, right? Let me be very clear. Not getting on his back. The Iranian thing, the big thing that's obviously blown up now has only been a very recent thing. But, you know, look, Mayer's Iranian, he's got Iranian parents, etc. I get all that. I'm talking about before. You know, I'll do this appeal, Mayer, when you get to see this. Whatever anyone else says that I said, you can see it from the horse's mouth, right? Come on, mate, join Advance, get off the bloody fence. You know, obviously I wish your family and your dad all the best, and I hope things work out for you, your family, and for Iran, the good people of Iran. But when that's all settled, please join us, get off the fence, join Advance. Because you love the country, you're always telling us how much you love our country and what it's given to you. Well, we need you now. We need you to help us, pay us back, pay us back some of the love that the UK has shown you. That's why I'm saying, Linford, not having a pop, mate. I'm telling you, as I see it. Thank you, Sean Delaney. I appreciate that. Now, what's going to happen is now there'll be people straight over on Mad's channel. Oh, Paul Falk slagging you off. That's the way it goes. But if that's what floats your boat, that's what floats your boat. I don't care, to be honest. Charlie Kelly, listen, I hear you, Paul, but getting them out is harder than it looks when you live in a left area like I do. You hit a bit of a dead end. Yep, look, I get that. I totally get that. But that is not what I'm moaning about, mate, because, we all I face that problem down in Brighton, and I get that. But unless we unite, things ain't going to get any better. The whole point of this, the video that I've uploaded tonight, what was it called? For the love of God, just unite us. That's what it's all about. Paula, I'm a member of Advance. Unfortunately, Scotland, Ireland and Wales have been getting shafted for centuries. They started with the smaller land areas and England being the larger with the final conquer. Yeah, I get that. I get the grievances of the Northern Irish, the Welsh and the Scots. Scotty of John, been so angry last few days about Rupert's new party. Now, this hasn't been confirmed, at least as far as I'm aware, but it's certainly being talked about. And I've just got this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach that that is what is coming. And I tell you now, for me, if he does it, that's a massive two fingers to the rest of us. It's not a positive, it's a negative for me. Unless he's got something super duper major up his sleeve, right? But I don't see it. David Lund, save yourselves, leave England. Dear, oh dear, what a depressing, depressing message. We need to be resilient and think outside the box, beyond shapeable. Farage out, the other three in. Absolutely, abso-bloody-lutely. Farage is not a team player. No support really for Nigel Farage in the comments. Paul, I agree, Advance will probably be the best for the country, but they have zero chance by the next election. Also remember, to get into power, Labour and Conservative voters are needed. Yes, they are, but I believe that both Labour and the Conservative Party have by default shed much of their floating supporter base because of what they've done. We've had 40, I can't even listen to the stories, right? I don't care who it is, whether it's Kevin Badnock, Robert Jenrick, any of them. They've all had their chance. They've all been in power. They had 14 years to get it right and they fucked it up big time. So I ain't never listening to the Tories again, and there's millions of people out there, hundreds and hundreds of thousands at least, who feel the same way. They ain't listening to the Tories anymore. Anyone intending to vote Labour at the next election will hopefully they'll be recaptured very soon. But if they're not, their numbers are going to have dwindled massively as well, except for the criminally insane. And unfortunately, there are enough of them hanging around, right? But don't underestimate the people who will desert Labour and the Tories. The problem is, the fear is, and this is a big, big, big danger, right, is that the uneducated British public, and I'm afraid that's what the vast majority of people are in the United Kingdom, they've had such an easy life. They've never had to worry about politics. It goes from Labour to Conservative to Labour, and then we've got a coalition with the Tories and the Lib Dems. Nothing changes for most people. it's two halves of the same whole. It hasn't been too bad over the years. Everyone's got by. Everyone's living reasonably well. You know, no one really goes too hungry in the UK. Yes, there are people on the breadline. There are people in poverty. But in general, we're a wealthy nation, and I'm all right, Jack, right? So they're politically uneducated. They're not aware. So what happens when people desert the Tories in the past, historically? If you want to know about the future, look at the past. What happens when people are fed up with the Tories and they're fed up with the Labour Party? What do? They vote Lib Dem because they think it's somewhere in the middle. Or they vote for a party that they think is a bunch of tree-hugging, caring, loving people in the Green Party. That's the danger. And it is a massive danger. A proper English gent is Jeff. We need more people like him to come forward. Jeff Taylor is an absolute superstar. I think splitting the vote at this time will be disastrous. I believe you're right, Made in Britain. That is why Nigel Farage needs to collapse reform and let us get on with the job. It's reform that's splitting the vote with their lies. Farage is the Messiah. He's not. He's a very naughty boy. Nigel is all about himself, not this country. Unite without Farage, yeah. Loads moving to advance, absolutely. John Gregory, Paul, I'm from the States. Here they had dead people voting, they had migrants voting, they were stuffing the ballot boxes. I know they're doing the same there. You need to unite everyone. Too big to rig. Great message that. Too big to rig. Absolutely. Guys, if you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate an upvote. If you haven't enjoyed the show tonight, you can give me a thumbs down. But one way or the other, give us one of the two, would be handy. The politicians don't run this country. Absolutely, you're right, Jenny, and that is why we need to get the right people in charge so we can get into the cancer that is the civil service, our schools, our colleges. What was that bit I mentioned in the video last night? 82% of school teachers will either vote for the Labour Party or the Green Party. That's 82 teachers out of every 100 are indoctrinating your children and your grandchildren with left-wing politics. Lawrence, another one we don't hear anything from. I forgot about Lawrence. Lawrence, come on, mate. Join advance. Ben all the way. I joined advance right at the beginning. Yeah, absolutely. Kay, Paul, you talk more sense than the whole bloody lot of them. You are 100% right to call out those who are talking the talk but not walking the walk. Thanks, Kay. You know, I would say I'm not calling them out. I'm appealing to them. I think there's, you know, hopefully there's a difference between when you call someone out, you have a dig at them, you have a go at them, you tell people what they're doing wrong and why they're doing it wrong. I'm not saying that any of these guys are doing anything wrong. I'm saying to them, please join advance. If you're not going to do that, tell me why. Tell your audience why. Give us a better alternative. Because if there's a better alternative, you might teach me something. But the silence is deafening from some of these people. And I just wonder why. It confuses me, it baffles me, and it disappoints me. Because there are people out there working their goddamn arses off. Working their goddamn arses off to get this off the road, to get this up and running, and to get things right for you guys, not for ourselves. Nobody in advance is making any money, not a single penny. No one is being paid, no one is earning any money, no one's getting anything back for the hours they put in. I know one person right now who will remain nameless, who has probably spent the last 3 months of his life in front of a computer for free. a man that I admire greatly, a man I trust immensely, a man that I respect hugely, and he sat in front of that computer using all of his brain power, and believe me, he has some brain power, helping writing up policy for nothing, for free, because he loves this country and he believes in this country. All I'm asking the other guys is join us. Angelina, Rupert Lowe, better be, Tommy and Douglas Murray would be fantastic, wouldn't it just? Unite. Yeah, thank you, Linda. Anne Middleton on the list, yeah. I love Anne. Sat with Anne for an hour in Poland. Brilliant guy. Really enjoyed being in his company. Massive respect for what he's done. I mean, how could you not respect Anne Middleton and what he's done? But I just want him to come and join us. I mean, Tommy, he's good pals with Tommy. Tommy's in advance. Come on, Anne. Stop fucking around, man. Come on. Come and join us, brother. Come on, we need you. You served your country. You've worn the uniform. We need you more than ever now, mate. We need you more than ever. Witch Hazel, I tried on GB News, your say, to try and push Vance and Rupert instead of reform, but was met with a quite nasty backlash from some people. Yeah, you will be. Melissa Robinson, there are already moves to remove Farage once reform get in, so no to Farage. Listen, Nigel Farage, I don't believe will ever be Prime Minister. Capricorn, if Trump wins against the BBC, MSM will be over. Would it be nice to see the back of the BBC? Actually, do you know what? I'd be sorry to see the Auntie Beeb that I grew up with die. Only Fools and Horses. When or before it had been infected with a woke mind virus, the BBC brought us many wonderful things. English Roses, Paul, if I'd still a mad idea, why not put all this in a message to Trump? It might do some good in that it might come back around to influence Farage the right way. Do you know what? I think Donald Trump is a lot cleverer than people give him credit for. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows what's going on with Keir Starmer. He knows that Starmer lied to him about free speech. I think Starmer's got it coming from Donald Trump. I don't think that Trump is ready yet to unleash his true feelings on Starmer, but it will come. I believe it will come. Yeah, he threw Tommy and many others under the bus. He has a history of doing that. But you know what? As Tommy himself said, he'd put that behind him for the sake of the country. And this is what, I don't agree with everything that Tommy says. As Tommy admits, he's not perfect. None of us are perfect, right? But I'm always willing to put things aside when I see a man giving it his all, giving it his best shot. And Tommy's willing to forgive and forget. And I admire that in people. I admire that because the bigger picture is our country, and that's all that should matter to all of us. And I would just ask you to remember that before we sort of close up tonight. I would ask you to remember this. Whoever you watch, whoever you support, whatever you believe in, whatever party you want to support, whatever YouTubers you like or dislike or want to follow, just remember just one thing, please, right? What is being achieved? What is their ultimate aim? What are they promoting? And what is the point? That is the bigger question at the end. What is the point? One of the reasons, and I said this the other day, one of the reasons that my videos have been thin on the ground since Christmas is because I was running out of energy. I was running out of positive energy in the respect, what can I do now to help? What video can I make today that is going to potentially make a change? And quite frankly, I was running out of ideas. And I ain't making videos for the sake of it, right? If I'm not, I've got better things to do with my time. People say, oh, you make money on YouTube. Yeah, I make a bit of money, but I can make better money not doing YouTube. I can make more money. I can earn a better living by going away and doing something else. YouTube payments right now are shit. It's pittance, virtual waste of time. Right? It's not great. So unless I can make a difference, unless I'm making a difference, what's the point in making videos? The last thing you guys need, right, is another load of bad news. Just have a look in the chat again. This country, the whole patriot movement, pink ladies and Unite the Kingdom movement all need to unite going forward. Exactly. And you need, when you've got all these organisations, they're all doing great work. Everyone's doing great things. Thank you very much, Crazy Cow Mama. I worry about young people who are uneducated, who are educated by lefties, and they don't remember what we remember, how the UK used to be. Yeah, big problem, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, look, I've mentioned a few people today by name. You know, I've spoken about all the guys I mentioned earlier on. I was talking about Nick Tanconi earlier on. I respect all of these people as human beings. None of it, of what I say about these people, is personal. I will shake every single one of them. I'd shake their hands. I'd sit down and have a drink with them. What I'm saying is we need to unite. And if you're not prepared to unite behind Advance and Ben, please give us an alternative. Give us an alternative. Hartford, thank you, Paul. I will message Maya and say you have said nothing wrong. I believe Ben and Rupert will unite. I feel alone sometimes as people are talking a good game. Talks cheap, Linford. Yeah, cheers, Linford, mate. I mean, look, Linford, you know me, mate. There is absolutely no ill feeling from me towards Maya. Maya's a good guy. And he's got his own problems right now, and I fully appreciate that. Perhaps tonight wasn't the best timing as far, but I'll be honest, I don't watch Maya's channel, right? So I don't really know what's going on in his life. And if that's the case, you know, fair play to the guy. He's got better things. God bless his dad, right? And his family. But in general, I'm talking about all the YouTubers put their best foot forwards now. Pete Gray, thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. Paul, we can't have any other religion in British politics. Fact. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Charlie Kelly, bring forward your immigration policy. Tell us now, and you may get people join, including me. Why wait until February the 7th? Let's unite starting tonight. Charlie, unfortunately, I am not privy or not in a position to be issuing a party policy. That's way beyond my pay grade. That is for the leadership. And the 7th of February is a big day for the party. Hopefully you guys will go along and support Ben. Eventbrite, or go on to the Advance UK website. Go along, support the day, go along and have a listen to see what Ben and the troops have got to say. That would be my advice. But Charlie, you're absolutely right. You know, but as I said earlier on, there's a lot of people waiting for policy. But, you know, excuse me if you've heard me say this before, but Ben is building a skyscraper with rock solid foundations. What he's not building is another reform party with no foundations, and you have to mix and match the building. It's a Lego party, isn't it? Made up with former members of the Conservative Party, Labour, Lib Dems, Greens, whatever, you know, Uncle Tom Cobley and all, right? Benny's building something very different, and things are worth waiting for. Now, earlier on, I read a couple of messages out and got them wrong in the respect that I took them wrong. I read them out and read them incorrectly, and just took the messages in the wrong way. There's one that's popped up in a minute. I don't want to do the same with that, but I'll get to it in a sec. Mike Graham is doing very well after he was sacked from Talk TV. Look, good luck to Mike. Mike's earning a living. In my humble opinion, you can't take a blind bit of notice of what he says because it all comes from the pocket and not the heart, right? Fact. Mike Graham is interested in one thing, that's Mike Graham's pocket. Finished. End of story, right? Because at the end of the day, he will not interact with the movement. He will not interact with the people that are trying to save the country. Mike Graham is a journalist. He's a professional journalist. He's a very good professional journalist. He's fun to listen to. People like listening to him, but he is a professional journalist earning a living. That is it. Everything else is all bullshit. Again, not slagging him off. I'm telling you guys the truth. Ask him what political party he belongs to. Ask him who he's going to vote for. Ask him when was the last time he campaigned for any political party. Ask him what he intends to do to save our country. What part of Mike Graham's show is aimed at solutions? People like Mike Graham earn a living talking about the problems. Okay, that's how news channels operate. That's how GB News operates in many respects. That's to a degree how Talk TV works, and I get that. That's what they do. They're commercial channels. But individuals like Mike, and there are one or two other people in this space as well who are journalists, and that is it. And that's fine. At least they're journalists on the right side. But be aware. That's what I'm saying. Don't look at people like Mike Graham and think they're a saviour and they're trying to save our country. They do fuck all, apart from tell you the bad news. You haven't got to be a reporter. You haven't got to be a professional journalist to be able to tell you the bad news. Chirac, Steve Laws exposed traitors. Who are you talking about, Chirac? Which traitors did he expose, mate? Let me know. See, the thing is, I think, unless I've got it wrong, I think Steve Laws would class me as a traitor. I think he would class someone like Richard as a traitor. I don't know. He's entitled to his opinion. Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, Advance UK is the People's Party, exactly. David Lunn is talking about Layla Cunningham, a Muslim with 7 kids. Piss take. Charlie Kelly, will there be a live stream of the event? I believe there will be, Charlie. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the chat here. Can't watch Mike Graham, not my cup of tea. I don't mind watching Mike, but it's like any. I don't have to like who I watch, but he's good at what he does. He's good at what he does. But, as Carol says, Mike Graham does nothing for our country. Exactly. You don't have to be clever to bring you the bad news. Look, guys, if you want to make money on YouTube, I'll tell you how you do it. Shall I tell you something, right? For all those people out there, I'm going to let you into a secret tonight, so get yourself a pen and paper. For all you guys out there that think, how can I put this? I know how to make money on YouTube. I know how to make big money on YouTube, and I'm talking big money, right? But I don't do it. And the reason I don't do it is because there's not a lot of point for you. There'd be a lot of point for me and my bank account, but there's not a lot of point for you. Now, the way to make a lot of money on YouTube is to farm, okay? And farming is exactly what I did earlier on in a very, very low-level degree, right? So are you ready?
This is by way of a bit of an appeal, not for money, not for charity, but for the good of our great country.
Right, now I played you that video earlier on. That is farming. It's using other people's content, news clips. We all do it. We all use it. But it depends on how you use it. Are you using it to educate and inform? Are you using it to enhance your video? Are you using it to enhance the quality and the content and the educational value of your video? Farming is fine in that situation. There's nothing wrong with educational farming. But if you go into YouTube now, you will find many, many, many creators, content creators, entire channels built on farming, which doesn't actually involve a whole heap of work. All you do is steal other people's content and use it on your channel, only recycled in a different way. That's how a lot of people are making big money. If I wanted to earn 20 grand a month, I'd give up what I'm doing now and go and farm, right? That's the best way to earn money on YouTube. So if you want to do it, guys, feel free. You can farm anything you like. Doesn't have to be about politics. You can farm about tropical fish if you like. You can farm about cats. You can farm about great white sharks. You can farm whatever you want and earn money. Just as long as you don't farm too heavily, otherwise you get copyright strikes. But that's farming. This is farming.
Prime Minister's New Year's resolution should be, and I quote, to try to get it right first.
That's farming, right? But in my instance tonight, I've used 2 short videos that are for educational and enhancement purposes. But a lot of channels these days are built on farming. Digress slightly. Justice, Pat, right. He's on about Andrew Gold, right, okay. I did watch some of it. Not all of it. I've got to be honest with you, I don't watch that stuff because I know it's pointless. It doesn't matter. One thing I did hear Steve say is that he likes people that are respectful, and I'll be respectful to him. But it doesn't matter what he wants. It ain't happening. I want Fulham to win the European Champions League next season, but it ain't happening, right? I want to win the lottery Saturday, but that ain't happening either, right? So there's not really much point in me watching that stuff. You might as well go and watch some kind of fairy tale or go and watch an episode of Minder because, you know, you're going to learn just about as much. So whilst it might be entertaining to a degree, I've got to that stage now where I just can't watch meaningless bullshit anymore. Things that ain't going to work out, things that ain't going to come to any fruition. If I didn't think that Ben and Advance stood a chance with a fair wind and God willing, I'd be out of there. What's the point? What's the goddamn point? I haven't got the time left on this earth to waste it watching or getting involved in nonsense. Darren Grimes, yeah, I haven't seen Darren for ages. Has he been quiet? Jack Bradley, Paul, what's your take on Mark Clett? Don't know him, mate. Never met him. Don't know much about him. From what I've seen, we wouldn't be agreeing on much. Probably wouldn't be agreeing on a great deal. I don't know. Because, as I say, I don't know him. And I know about his politics. It's not where I am. Steve Laws is not for me. There's the thing that, I mean, at the end of the day, Tony, Steve Laws wouldn't be for the vast majority of the people in the United Kingdom. Now, whether you like that, whether someone likes that or whether they don't, it doesn't really matter, right? It's like being told you're going to snuff it, right? If you're told by the doctor that you're going to stuff it in 2 weeks, you ain't going to like it, but it's fuck all you can do about it, is it? It is what it is. Right, and these politics are never going to win a seat, let alone a general election. Fact. So, what's the point? Mike with Ben on tried to be clever and smarmy twat. Yeah, he's a smarmy twat, and let's be honest. 16th of May might be a game changer for Ben. Helen, Paul, you're on great form tonight. Thank you. Appreciate that. I mean, look, it's not for everyone to agree with me. One thing I do hope is that if we disagree, we can disagree and be adult about it. You know, I don't make these videos to make enemies. I make these videos to try and win our country back. If you think I'm wrong, tell me how. If you think I'm wrong, I go back to what I said earlier on. Give us a better alternative. I'll listen. But it has to be an alternative that is realistic. You know, I get people write to me and say, oh, you know what we should do, Paul? We should go and knock on the door at Buckingham Palace. Really? It's not going to work, is it? Right, so let's, you know, be realistic. Thank you, Jeanette. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, Jeanette. Bless your heart. Last couple of supers of the night. Jackie, we could all unite and take Labour and reform to the cleaners. Exactly. We all want the same thing, our country back. They are threatening Lucy with recall to prison for FFS. Nice having you back, Paul. Thank you very much. Yeah, I saw that. I don't think they would actually dare, to be fair. David Lund, 608, thank you. 5 million full stuck cure WTF Farage. Cheers, David. Thank you, everyone, tonight for your supers and, just as importantly, all your regular chats in the comments. There's thousands of messages coming in now. Just reading one or two of them. Paul, do you think the establishment will try and ban the 16th of May? They know how big it's going to be and the world will be watching. Look, I wouldn't put anything past this lot, anything at all. And I mean that, anything at all. They're in the house today. They're in the big house today. making a big thing about what's going on in Iran and how their hearts are with the people of Iran and that people are being executed in Iran. Listen, you fuckers executed Peter Lynch. Let's not forget that, right? You may not have pulled the lever, but you guys are responsible. Those bastards in Westminster that sent Peter Lynch to jail, they're responsible for his death. There's no other way of putting it. Rest in peace, God rest his soul. So don't give me all that soft soap shit about Iran, how much you care about people. You don't even care about your own people. You threw them to the lions after Southport. Yes, there were people that done things wrong after Southport. Yes, there were people that done things that were criminally wrong after Southport and deserved to be punished. But there are a lot of people that were sent to jail, were imprisoned, were fined, were terrified, were bullied, felt the full force of the law. Do you remember him saying that? The full force of the law. Yes, they felt it, Starmer, all right. But you bullied the life out of the British people, labelling them all as far right and racist. You scumbag. That's what you did, right? So don't give us the fake, phony bullshit about caring about the people of Iran. Right, guys, I think we will give it, we'll call it a night there. The poll is doing well. Let's have a little look. That's a good point, actually. How is the poll doing? Hold on a sec. So we have, should we all unite? 1,763 votes. 89% say yes. 4% can't decide. And 6% say no. Now, my question to the 6% is that if you don't believe we should all unite, and this is where the problem comes in for people like myself, who are trying to win and try and unite people, that 6% of 1,700 people is a few people, right? Don't ask me to work out exactly how many it is off the top of my head, but it's a few people who obviously don't want to unite. They want something different. They want an alternative. So my message to them would be, I've gone out of focus. My message to them would be, what is your alternative? Tell us what your alternative is. I'll be interested to know. Right, guys, that is it. I'm off to bed. I'm an hour in front of you. I've got one last super. Charlie, thank you, mate. Rupert didn't comment about September the 13th. Nigel actually said they are good people standing up to the establishment, where was Rupert on September the 13th? Do you know what, mate? I'll tell you what, right? Nigel has learned his lesson, hasn't he, after that lot debacle. Right, guys, going to love you and leave you. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. We are back with a bang. Let's unite and let's win our country back. God bless you all.